just did a whole intro and roll call, and I almost started my presentation without hitting the live button, guys. Welcome in. Good morning. It's a Monday. We're going to make this week great. You're on the lifeboat. I'm your captain speaking, Captain Calhoun. Happy Monday, everybody. Welcome in. Welcome in. Sorry I'm late. I was having some cramps. I think right now is probably the best time to jump in and get some things done. Before they return, Layla Bradley, Tommy Stiggs, Social Club, Seventh Son, Robin Miners, Shannon Smith, Flick Fox, Janet G, Ben, Bacon Bits. What's going on, guys? Always a pleasure. Mocked, hello, hello. Meta, Body Illusion, Robin Miners, Shannon Smith. You are totally in the right place. It's my fault. I just had a conversation with you, but really I was just talking for nothing. Kind of funny in hindsight, but sad. Brianna Miller, welcome in. Fox, Rick Smith, Janet G, Tommy Bird. I read your crap nap comments and had a nice laugh, but I wasn't live. Kevin Hospital, always a pleasure. Brianna Miller, what's going on, guys? I live for now. Now I can't tell who I've said hello to and who I haven't. I've said hello to everyone at least twice, hopefully. That's the idea. Danielle McCoy, what's going on? The newest nut, Lisa Trimble. Yo. Welcome in, guys. I live for now. Body Illusion. Mr. Bacon Bits. Yeah, guys, it's been a struggle bus kind of morning. Pardon me. The audio is weird. Audio is weird. I don't really change anything. Give me a second. Son of a gun. The universe does not want me to go live. I wonder. Everything's set how it normally is. I wonder if I just need to reset everything. I never change any of it. I never change any of it. It's always the same. Let me double check 1 second. Here, how about this? Crap naps. 5x5. It's a 5x5. It's a 5x5. It's a 5x5. Hide the crap nap message. My everything's just loading. So if y'all are saying stuff, I can't see it yet. It's just gonna take a second. All right, so I'm good now. I'm good now. All right. Well, now that I'm sober, why does everything suck? Why does everything suck? Well, I'll tell you what. When you take away the drugs and alcohol, when you take away, good morning, Lori Abs, good to see you. I'm hearing something. It's working. Hopefully it continues to be fine. I don't think I need it that close to me though. I think it's fine back here. You will hear a slight echo because my voice literally echoes in this room, and there's nothing I can do about that today. I am working on some fixes for that. I would like to get some sort of dampening device to absorb sound that's unnecessary. But what do I know? Izzy E, welcome in. Good to see you. Yeah, guys, when we're talking about addiction, we're talking about covering up the real us, right? We're talking about not being in our right minds. So if you succeed in removing all of that, what do you have left? You know, what's left after you take away the addictions, after you take away the drugs, the alcohol, the overeating, the isolation? Well, you have just you, untreated, untrained, and probably very sick in the soul. I wonder, I didn't organize my thoughts this morning because I was cramping, but I am very excited to share some concepts with you. I've long thought that it's going to be my job to bridge the gap between old school or new school recovery and spirituality, and what's going on in here. Because that's something we don't talk about a lot. It's something that everybody experiences and everybody names different things. Everybody looks at in a different way, right? But we all have a soul. We all have something on the inside that's very, very important. And, if you're in the depths of your addiction, you're neglecting that part of yourself. And when you take away the drugs and the alcohol, you're going to be left with a very sick soul. You're going to be a sick individual. And that's okay. That's normal. But that's why everything sucks when you're sober. And when I say everything sucks when you're sober, that's not like a statement, period, walk away, mic drop. Like, that's where the work comes in, right? What we want to do is address the actual problem. The addiction's a symptom, right? The overeating's a symptom. The alcoholism is a symptom of a greater sickness, which is inside of you, in your soul. It's not an organ that's failing. It's your spirit that's not allowed to spread its wings. It's your spirit that's not validated. You know what I mean? You never did a rite of passage. Your worth to the world has not been validated. You may not know what your worth to the world is. And these are the questions that we need to answer. If we're really going to stay sober and we're going to live a happy, better life, if we're going to actually have real joy and not now that I'm sober, everything sucks. If we're not going to do that, if we're going to do anything other than that, we have to address these issues. We have to address the sickness inside. And that could be due to a myriad of different problems, right? Very commonplace reasons for this are going to be childhood trauma, going to be neglect in the childhood, going to be, you were taught X, Y, Z for whatever reason, whether it was intentional or not, but you've learned and been taught how to be this way, and you haven't learned or been taught how to move through this kind of fire, if that makes sense. I think I was talking with my buddy Taj last night about this at length. We were on the phone for a couple hours, and I told him, like, hey, everything's kind of going well, but I'm not sure how to bridge this gap. I'm not sure how to bring this concept. I told him, like, I know what I want to do. I know what I need to do. I just don't really know how to go about doing it. And we talked about it for a long time. I was intending to journal about it this morning, but I have not yet because I've been just trying to make sure my tummy's good. But lost my train of thought. But that's my job. I think that's my unique strength, my unique ability. What I'm going to bring to the table here is I'm going to bridge this gap. We're going to have words that everyone can understand that's going to describe this problem and the solutions therein. We talk a lot about boundaries. We talk a lot about all kinds of things. I'm going to start tying in the parts that saved me. The reason I'm sitting here in front of you guys right now is largely due to the boat. The boat saved me. I want you guys to know that. You guys already know that, but I want to say that, right? But on another note, I'm here because of
of these concepts, healing that spiritual sickness. Whether you believe in God or you don't, it doesn't matter. I don't care. You can believe what you want to believe, but we all can agree that what gives my meat bag special, what makes me special is me. What is Michael is my soul, right? And what's inside of me is sick. It's sick. And I'm getting better. I'm addressing these things, right? But it's hard to heal from a sickness that you're afraid to talk about. It's hard to heal from a sickness that talking about triggers you. You know what I mean? So we're going to have to do away with the religious sensitivity and this and that. I'm not going to talk about religion. I'm not going to talk about politics. But when we talk about this soul stuff, this spiritual sickness, it's going to get a little weird for some people, and you're going to have to get over it. And maybe there's ways that I can bring it in, like from different angles, and kind of help that blow land. But you have to address you have to address your soul. You have to address what's missing, and we have to, you know what I mean? It's just necessary, and that's literally the only reason. Without the spiritual work, without the working on what's devoid inside of me, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't have succeeded. It's the linchpin of my sobriety. It's the linchpin. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, Flick Fox. It is a little gross. When I get on a roll, I'll say stuff like that sometimes because that's my humor, but I'll try to tone it down for you. Izzy E says, this is a good time for me to take a break from ranting for just a second. We'll get back to it. Izzy E, I remember the first few months sober. Everything sucked because no one warned me how isolating it was going to be at first. The old friends who only wanted to hang out if there was booze, gone. I tell you what, and those friends we can do without. But you speak to a great truth. The beginning of sobriety is a huge question and answer. Like, oh, now what do I do? I have to. You're going to strip everything away, right? Let's say you have a car with some paint on it, and then you just throw paint thinner on that sucker. All the paint's gone now. Now you've just got this metal car with no paint. You're basically unpainted. You're taking all that paint off. I don't know. That was a weird metaphor, but you're going to have to rebuild. If you think about it like a house, you've built a house with, fair weather friends, with foundations that, are a little shaky. You're going to have to tear that sucker down and rebuild, with some more solid foundations, with friends that aren't going to clear out when there's no money and no booze and no drugs and no party, people that'll hang out for the long haul, for the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, the sideways. You've watched an autopsy, me too. Pretty gnarly, right? This is nothing compared to that. Halfway through the dark week. Woohoo! Things can and will suck for a while, but for me, it sucks better than when you aren't sober. I tell you what, Lisa. Now you're getting to some money right there. You're getting onto some secrets right there, because it's all about harm reduction, right? Incrementally increasing my quality of life, which is I think a very surface, easily digestible subject. But when it comes to the actual spiritual work, what we're doing on the inside, right? That's a much harder to digest subject. So you can understand why I've been a little intimidated to get into this and talk about it. But I've known that this is the purpose. I've known that this is what I need to do for a long time. And I am happy to share with you. I'm not scared anymore. I think I've got it. I think I've unlocked the next level. I told my dad that this morning, and he said, "Really? Do tell." And I told him, and he was like, "Are you sure?" And I said, "Yes. Yes, I'm sure." What happens? Brown and Miller says, question, what happens when you're angry with God or the universe? Well, you have a couple options. You can stay angry and see where that takes you, or you can figure out what's causing you to be angry with God or the universe and work through it. Probably going to be, if you choose the latter, the second option, working through it, right? It's probably going to be rough. but not as rough as the first option. I can almost guarantee you that holding on to that anger and cursing, this is something that I've done personally. This is a personal journey for me as well, Brianna. Especially after everything that I've been through. I mean, I've got a goat head tattooed on my shoulder. I definitely can relate with this, but it's not conducive to joy and happiness, man, and peace and serenity. Being angry with creator or the universe, being angry with everything around me, right? Being angry with, I don't know, some entity that may or may not have dominion over my life and my destiny. Like, that is a terrible, sad way to live. And I say that from experience, you know? So I would suggest figuring out, getting to the bottom of that. That's probably going to be a hefty journey, but it's going to be one worth taking, in my opinion. And if you want to talk about it more specifically with me, please email me. I'd love to talk to you about it. Sober@myyahoo.com. But that's something that I deal with today, even. I have to remind myself my natural reaction to a lot of things is to get really angry, this isn't fair. Why is this happening to me again? It certainly seems like there's a conspiracy in the universe against me. You know what I mean? But that's a great question. What a great question, Brianna. Thank you for sharing that. Shannon Smith says, I remember when I tapered Xanax, it felt like my do not disturb sign was down and everyone wanted to talk to me. It's interesting. It's interesting what we attract and when we attract it. I tell you what, you don't attract water by focusing on how thirsty you are. That's for sure. Shout out to Taji. He told me that last night. Silence. Sorry about that. Silence. But I mean, you probably have very good reason for being angry at the universe and the world. You know what I mean? I know I did. But the question is, how does that anger serve you? How does it not serve you? That's an even better question, because I guarantee you it's not serving you. It's not meant to be held on to. You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm telling you, Shannon, the gloves are off. We are going to we're going to be doing it like this from now on. I have a lot to say now. Now that I figured out something, there's just some complications in my head or in my heart or something, and I finally figured it out. So now I have all of this stuff that I can share that I haven't been sharing because I don't know, because I didn't have it figured out, for lack of a better word. So I'm really excited to get into all of this stuff. I'm really excited to actually organize these thoughts and give you like a legit presentation instead of just ranting at you in the morning. But I know you're here for it. It's good. Tommy Bird says, God doesn't really let things happen to us, or especially he doesn't cause bad things to happen to us. It happens because this is fallen world, unfortunately. And, I think regardless of what happens, there is a way through. You know what I mean? Regardless of exactly what's going on. I can't keep, I might not win right now, but I definitely can't keep losing. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I don't think that like bad things happen to good people, but I don't think that that continues to be that way. I think that we get our due eventually. Word soup. I love soup. Don't take a vow of silence today. Then we can never talk. Mocked says, I'm disappointed with people using faith to justify BS, not with the idea itself. The faith I was raised into wasn't for me, and that's just it. Well, that's one of the reasons we kind of stray away from talking about faith and stuff on this channel, because it's very divisive. Everyone has a history and a story, and the topic can become very charged. I was watching something last night that was very divisive in its story. I can't remember what it was. It might have been The Boys. Probably was. And that's going to be another challenge and hurdle. As I talk about these sorts of subjects, it's going to be natural for people to want to share things from their faith. And I'm going to have to take that in stride and figure out how to not to divide us, because this is such a necessary portion. What's going on in here, and I don't mean physically, I mean spiritually, which is a third aspect. We've got the physical, we've got the mental, emotionals in there. I don't know how many aspects there are, but there is a spiritual aspect to all of this stuff. And regardless of what you believe, you're going to have to address that part of yourself to heal properly, right? To have a happy, joyous life free of addiction, especially if you've lived in addiction, right? If you have what I have, these things are going to have to be addressed, and this realm is going to have to be explored, all right? And it's going to be different for everybody, because we all have our own different faiths. We all have our own relationship with spirit, with whatever you want to call that, source, creator, blah, 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 right? It doesn't matter what you call it. You can look at it through your eyes. You don't have to change your beliefs. You just have to understand that your beliefs are very important to this journey. That's all. You just have to understand it. Please hold. I can't wait to live somewhere else. What was I talking about? Oh, yeah, I was talking about everyone's unique perspective on this, right? Because it's not about anyone else. It's about you. It's about your own, like for me, it's about my journey, right? It's about my health. It's about my life, right? So we don't need to get hung up on how other people are doing it. You don't need to get hung up on how other people are doing it, because it doesn't matter. It only matters how you're doing it. And when it comes to like supporting and interacting with our peers, our support group, right? Us, right? The crew, the boat, we can have conversations and interact without sharing those beliefs. You know what I mean? You feel me? Like we can, like what I specifically believe for myself doesn't have to be brought into a conversation where I'm supporting my loved ones and my friends that probably have different beliefs. You know what I mean? And if you have the same beliefs, that makes it easier, right? We don't have to dance around stuff, but we need to be able to have conversations pertaining to spiritual stuff without, bothering each other, well, I shouldn't say that, without being bothered, because really it's up to you. It's up to you whether or not, you're going to let something as trivial as some words that don't align with your beliefs bother you. You know what I mean? And I think the best way to go about doing that is to just not, push my beliefs on anybody. We can have our own beliefs, and that's okay. And we can respect each other and love each other. That's fine. I'm not attached to your eternal soul. I'm attached to mine. You feel me? Or whatever the case may be. You can change and put in words, specific to your own sitch, right? But we need to be able to have conversations about the spirit, because it's real, because it's key, it's core to these problems. The reason that I drugged and drowned myself in alcohol for all those years was to cover up this broken spirit of mine the reason I ended up smoking crack, right? The reason I'm sitting here in front of you is because of all those years I spent with a broken spirit, not addressing it, with a sick soul. And this sickness is progressive. The longer we don't address it, the longer we shy away from talking about it, the longer we put it off, the worse it's going to get. That sucker, like my dad says, it's back there doing push-ups. It's getting yoked, and it's going to put us in a headlock whenever it feels like, on a whim. So we got to get ready. We got to get our spirit doing push-ups too. And honestly, it may be a little difficult to have these conversations with others that have different beliefs, but you're exercising that muscle when you do it. Because it's new, because it's something you don't normally do, right? It's a new skill we're going to have to train. And I believe in every single one of you. I know every single one of you has a heart of gold, right? We're all here standing on common ground, but from unique, different places. We all walked our own unique paths, but we all ended up here, right? And that's something that we can all band together around. So that being said, I have faith in every single one of you. I don't think this is going to be an issue. I think that we're all going to do it. We're going to pass this test with flying colors. You know what I mean? I have no doubt in my mind at all. And I'm really excited to see what happens. I'm really excited to see, how the Tommy Birds come together with the Flick Foxes, how the K-Fix, the Sniper Max, and the Miss Chicagos, get it done. It's going to be great. It is great right now. How about that? Spiritual push-ups. That's right, Lori Abs. Sniper Mac, what's going on? Mach 1. That puts you at notch 1. Welcome in, Russ Allen. What's going on, brother? Jimena says, and we are a family. This family respects each other and supports each other, and we love each other. And I can say this family saved my life. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Also feeds into shadow work, which is spiritual. Yeah, I think that those words put right next to each other, shadow work, I think it could be presented a little better. But I agree. I still don't think that that's a show that I'm going to do. Although Conversations with Christy does not shy away from such topics. Oh, would you look at that? A little text message from a loved one. If you don't mind, I'm going to read it. I love it when she texts me. Nice. All right. Tommy Bird says, our journey is down the same main road. And destination, we just start and take different paths. Some wind along longer than others, and some unfortunately do dead end. And that's going to happen, right? We're not, it just is what it is. And I try not to be attached to y'all's journeys. You know what I mean? I want the best for you, but I can't be so invested that if you hit a dead end, that it's going to destroy me. You know what I mean? I can't let that happen to myself. But I want every single one of you to make it through. Thanks for sharing, Tommy Bird. You always have wonderful things to say. I'm honored to have you on the crew, buddy. Hope Between the Dreams. Just reading the title on the way in. My first 4 months of being sober really sucked, but now 8 months in, everything is a bit brighter. Dude, 8 months. Let's go. I love it. I'm about 1.5 years in. I could actually do some math real quick. March, April, May, June, July. Yes, I count with my fingers. I'm 1 year and 5 months. As of in 2 days, I'll have 1 year and 5 months. I was told there would be no math. I reserve the right to change that later because I might be wrong. But February 24, my birthday, February 21st was when the benders. So yeah, February 24th, 2023. I do not have a girl, Hope Between the Dreams, but there is a girl texting me that I love very much. It's complicated, you know what I mean? If I don't know if the delay is delaying delays, but my sobriety date is February 24th, 2023. I went on my last bender on my birthday, 2023, February 21st. And I woke up from that bender on the 24th, I believe. I called my dad immediately upon waking up. And then I went like back to bed and slept for a couple days. So I wonder, it's right around there, right? A couple days off isn't a big deal. I'm not going to get hung up on the details because it's not about how much time. I was talking to my buddy, Jake, y'all know Jake, the other day, and I was like, how much time do you have now? And he was like, honestly, I don't know. I try not to keep track. It always just gave me a higher pedestal to fall from. And I was like, interesting. And I have to say, as far as degenerate drug addicts, he was among the worst, you know what I mean? And he is great now. Like the way, what he's done to his life, how he's changed things around is inspiring. So I'm not going to ask questions, right? I'm not going to complain, like whatever. You don't want to keep track of your sobriety date, bro. Whatever works, right? Whatever friggin' works for you, I'm down, because you should see this guy. He's kicking butt, taking names. I'm so proud of him. Although he seems depressed as hell. And I don't know why. But I mean, that's, I guess, his hurdle to jump through. My heart goes out to Jake. Let's get some ones up for anyone that needs them, but also for Jake. And things are going well for him, but the joy eludes him somehow. Dale Cox, welcome in. I have been sober since my daughter was born in January of 2010. Heck yeah. I'm going to have to turn these sounds off. They're very distracting. Dude, that's a long time. You want to hear something crazy, Dale? I graduated high school 2010, May 2010. I'm a youngster. Shannon Smith looking good in green. I know I missed some things. I'm going up here. I'm scrolling back up. I will get it. I promise. I have to leave for a meeting, says Jimena, but I just want to wish all of you a wonderful week. Spanx, I'll reach out to respond what you asked yesterday. Love all. Bye, bye, bye. Have a great day, Jimena. We'll see you soon, I'm sure. Thanks, Spanx. I appreciate that. It says Tommy Bird. I feel honored to be here, and I mean that for every day that I am. This boat is an amazing experience, and I'm a better person because of it. You and me both, brother. I think that's awesome. It's so cool to hear. And I feel better about it every day. Some days I'm a little nervous. Some days I'm like, man, what am I missing? But today I feel like I ain't missing nothing. I'm not missing nothing, Double negative. Spanx, I feel it's complicated today. Schlux, I tell you what, I love this girl so much, to the moon and back. And it just might not be in the cards for us. I'll tell you a little bit about our relationship if you want. I'm going to make sure I didn't miss anything, and then I'll tell you about this wonderful lady I know. Maybe she's watching. I don't think so. She's probably working, but sometimes in the back of my mind, I'm like, maybe she's watching me. Miss Chicago says, I've been smoking weed since I was 16. I'm soon to be 64. I quit 5 days ago, just over it. Peace. That's way cool. That's way cool. You just woke up one day and you're like, you know what? I think I'm over it. Dude, I think that's way cool. I still have like this love affair in the back of my head with weed. I'm not partaking currently, right? But I'm not over it either, I don't think. There will be a day when Michael smokes again, I think. But not anything else. Let's be clear here. I have a problem with smoking certain things. Weed's not one of them. Lisa Trimble, I knew I had missed something. I saw it scroll by. Thank you so much, Lisa. I appreciate you. When I get angry at my God/universe, I swear, like a sailor at him, when I feel better, I get back to my spiritual beliefs. I tell you what, and honestly, whoever it is, whatever they are, whatever we want to describe them as, I'd like to imagine them as a very understanding, entity, right? Like they understand me so well that if that's the unfortunate choice that I make, that they get it, Although sometimes I like to picture God as this like fire and brimstone, like smite you kind of thing too. It's fun to imagine it differently, but I don't really know what's going on in that realm. You know what I mean? I just know what works for me, and just know, that everyone has to figure that out for themselves. Kafik, I can relate with that. It always feels like somebody's watching me. I wonder if that's because like I feel important or something, or like if I have some like leftover paranoia from my drug abuse, or if someone's actually watching me. You know what I mean? Like, I'll always wonder. Such a disappointment. That's so funny, Tommy Bird. I graduated high school in the year 2000, says Tommy. We were the class of the millennium. Lol. Such a disappointment. I think that's hilarious, dude. I think that's hilarious, dude. When I look back at my peers, it's easy to say, what a disappointment. You know what I mean? We, I'm sure all went our different ways and made different things of ourselves. But at the time, in 2010, when I was graduating, it was definitely like not an inspiring moment for sure. Well, that's right. I was going to talk about my not girlfriend. Well, I'm so glad that we have affected your life positively, Dale Cox. Dale says, I owe it to the lifeboat and all of you. Thanks, all of you. Dude, we're honored to have you on the crew. I tell you what, Dale. Thanks for speaking up. I saw your name a few times today and I didn't catch every single message, but I appreciate you, man. Spanx, you're a YouTuber. Someone's usually watching you. It's true. It's true. It is way true. I've been when I tell a girl that I'm a YouTuber, it never goes quite how you would expect it to go. You know? Bear with me here while I think up a storm. I'm a storm thinker. Thinking up a storm, thinking up a storm, thinking up a storm. I like to sing a lot. Since I started doing the lifeboat, I sing less because my voice isn't like used to being in use like this all the time. But since my Salt Lake trip, I've been singing almost constantly. Almost constantly. Sorry, I'm getting distracted. I'm going to talk about my friend in a little bit to refocus myself, being distracted. So, like, she's into. Is that the right way to start this? I don't know if that's the right way to start this. She's great. She's the best. I love her to the moon and back. We've had an interesting go of things. When we met, I was still struggling with my addiction. Was still struggling with the fallout from my Lucy relationship, even though, like, after Lucy and I broke up, I was with a couple other girls between, like, you know what I mean? So it's like I just still had this big bag of baggage that I was carrying around, from Lucy and that we created together. I'm not blaming her or anything. That's just what it pertained to, right? So when we met, it was a very complicated time for me. I wasn't able to like be present 100% for our relationship, for our friendship, whatever it was. She's into polyamory, so it never really seemed that serious to me. And in fact, That was like one of the big hangups between Lucy and I is this concept of polyamory. And let me tell you right now, what Lucy was practicing is not polyamory. That means love multiple. And that's not what was happening. And I'm not going to get into that either. Um, but that being said, it was kind of a red flag for me that this girl was into that. So I definitely tried not to take it too serious. But there was like some things that would happen, some signs that were just like, wow, this is really cool. Like this is special. You know what I mean? So it was also impossible to ignore the depth. Um, or the connection, I should say. It was impossible to ignore the connection between us. So I continued to get to know this girl a little bit better. I met her through my fire crew. I took a year off, and that was the year that she joined. And I ended up doing the fire safety. I was like the fire safety coordinator that year. So I got roped into going anyways. And luckily for me, because that's how I met this wonderful lady. And, I don't think I wouldn't have had the opportunity to meet her like I did. So I'm very grateful for that whole experience. But where it stands now is, we've known each other for a couple years. She's still dating the same guy that she was, so the way, without getting into it too much, like there's like a main partner situation, and then both of them are like free to see and date and choose however they would like on the side or whatever, right? But like she has a main partner, and he's pretty cool. He's a decent guy. We hang out. He's a pilot, and he also he's one of the main guys at the Lost Highway camp. Without getting into that too much, there's like a whole world out there with my friends. But anyways, that being said, I don't like that. I want this girl all to myself. And I told her that I was like, ideally, I would like you all to myself, but I don't get to choose for her. You know what I mean? And I don't. That's obviously not reality right now, which is fine. I'm fine with that. I don't even live in the state anymore. I have to say though, I don't know if I could have come to this place of peace and serenity in our situation with her and I without moving here to Arizona. I think that even just isolating the experience I had going out on my Salt Lake trip, we hung out a bunch on my Salt Lake trip. If that had happened and I still lived in Salt Lake, I don't think I would have been able to handle it. So I'm really glad there's this separation in space. But I have to say, I don't think that our path is quite defined yet, her and I. I think that it's possible that I am a fire performer, Gualcoholic. In fact, I've got a video you can check out. I have one video posted on my other channel. Let's see about it. And I will link it here. But I don't think that her and I's path is defined yet. I think that it could go a lot of ways. I think that we could possibly end up together, or we could just remain friends the way that we are forever. But I tell you what, I'm never going to let her go unless she wants to be let go. You know what I mean? So that being said, it's very complicated. But I would jump at the any day. And we keep in contact as much as possible. Here's that link for I have one video my old crew, Breath of Fire, put together. And then Lucy's also in this, as well as a bunch of my friends. But I wonder if I missed anything I wanted to say. I don't know. I kind of lost myself there in that explanation. I care about her a lot. That's right, Brianna. I can tell just by the way you talk about her. She's the friggin' best. She sent me another text. Let's see what she said. I have a channel, Lori, Lori says, other channel, question mark. I have like this other channel. It's just the YouTube account that I have always had. But when I started doing lifeboat stuff, I changed the name and the picture and I uploaded one video because we have all this content from back in the day when I was a part of this. I'll probably talk about this more someday, but we had basically a fire collective. It wasn't a fire crew. It was like an artist collective. We had like between 11 and 14 members, all super passionate, independent fire artists, as well as other artists like doing other things as well. But and we aren't together anymore because we were all so independent and passionate, and we like couldn't agree on the money side of things. So we have like all these performances and all these photos and videos and experiences that never got to see the light of day because of our disagreements. So I took one of my favorites and put it on that channel because it friggin' deserves to see the light of day. You know, not that many people get to see it over there, but it's up there. You know what I mean? And that's what matters to me. And honestly, I didn't tell my crew that I put it up there because I didn't want to argue or have the conversation. Hopefully they can forgive me, you know? It's what's funny is if they could take their heads out of their butts, if we could all just agree on one thing, if we could all just find some common ground, we might be able to make a little money off it. You know what I mean? But whatever. It's more about the passion anyways. I'm glad that it's up there for people to visualize, to see. That's right, RSM. I need someone who only has eyes for me. And you know what? She could be that person. Maybe she's not that person. I'm not holding out for her to be that person, but yeah. Right now that's not it though, you know? Pyrophilia in Baltimore, huh? Dude, let's check it out. I'm gonna write it down right now. Ooh. I wonder. Nice. Gotcha. Pulled up. I don't know. I don't think there's a whole lot of like stuff like available from Breath of Fire, but I have a ton of stuff on the Google Drive. You've seen some of the pictures in that one performance, I guess, but we have a ton of stuff, I have to say. We're going to get, well, we're not going to get Breath of Fire back together probably ever, but Fire Muse is getting together. I've been a part of Fire Muse for a few years. In November, it's probably going to be one of the last times we get Fire Muse together for a long time. So I'm really excited for that. I don't know if they have material out there either, but if you look up Fire Muse, I wonder what happens if I look up Fire Muse. Will my friends' faces be right there from Salt Lake City? Fire Muse SLC, Fire Muse Circus. Here we go. We have a Facebook. I didn't even know about this. Oh, it's Mark. Look at that. Yeah, so if you check out Fire Muse Circus, that's us. That's and honestly, I'm honored to even be considered a part of this sometimes. Like I think that they would probably say, they would be like, "Oh yeah, you're a part of," or whatever. But I'm so like honored to be in these humans' presence. Sometimes I don't feel like I belong, but I totally do. And they wouldn't allow me to say that. They wouldn't allow me to say that I don't belong. I spin. Calhoun, what props do you spin? I have a dragon staff, a contact sword. I want to get new contact swords. Nunchucks, always a great party trick. And I have mini staffs as well. Been working with my minis a lot. Trying to think, am I forgetting something? Oh, I have 2 fire whips as well. I have a 9-foot and a 5.5-foot, which are pretty crazy. I don't play with those a whole lot anymore. They're very dangerous, and I'm not as committed as I once was. Thanks, Lori. I appreciate that. She is one of those girls, but she doesn't she's less organized. So like she only was a part of the crew for that 1 year. Like she's considered family, I'm sure, right? But she's not a part of that crew like year in and year out. She chose to do a 1 year. But she's like involved in the community heavily, just as far as like being a part of the professional, like the fire crew or whatever. She did that once. And I'm not trying to take away from her at all. She's amazing. And her performance is amazing. She just has a lot going on. She's a busy girl. She's a busy girl. I will totally have someone that's all mine. And I'm not necessarily in a hurry. I have some work to do. And I'm just now finding my fire. You know what I mean? Today's episode felt a lot different. I'm sure it feels a lot different for y'all too. So that being said, I mean, if I can be in my joy all the time, I'm going to attract like-minded people, you know? And that's really the key, is like find my mission, like get on that mission, you know? It doesn't necessarily need to be accomplished, but like start get working on it, you know? And in doing so, like find joy. And if I can do those things, if I can do my mission and have my joy, nothing can stop me. And that's the idea. And that's what I want for y'all too. That's the end goal of doing this soul work, working on your soul sickness, right? Healing this. When you take the drugs and the alcohol away, what's left? The smoking crater, this tumor, right? In order to heal that, when we heal that, you're going to end up in what the heck was I just saying? Oh my gosh, my brain. You're going to end up in your joy attracting like-minded individuals. You know what I mean? The connection will do itself for you when you balance the spirit stuff out. When you get the inside of you in balance, when you heal that sickness inside, all of these things are going to line up and start working for you instead of you working for them, if that makes sense. Yeah, Fire Muse Circus Walk. And I can send you a link if you want. I just typed in Fire Muse SLC, and they're right there at the top. Fire Muse Circus, Salt Lake City, Facebook. But yeah, these are the peeps. I'm sure they don't mind me sharing. Dan Sheehan says, I'm painting my bedroom today. Not much joy. Well, I mean, it'll be a better color, clean walls afterwards, right? That's pretty joyful. Ree says, I'm wanting to grow my channel to go live as I've been in recovery since 1989 and isolation is a killer. Well, I'm glad that you found these lives. I encourage you to make some friends with people here. We got a pretty solid crew going on, and I'll have to come over and check your channel out and support. Let us know when you're going live. I'd love to come check it out. Dude, fire breathing, Guac, is a whole nother thing. If you think about the percentage of people on the planet that spin fire, it's pretty low. About 10% of fire spinners, of fire dancers, breathe fire. So we're talking about the elite of the elite. Very small number of humans do this. And, you know, for good reason. When I dragon keep, when I safety for fire breathers, or when I started learning how to do so, I was told, look, don't do this unless you're prepared to have your breather die on your watch. It's inevitable. If they do this long enough, they're going to end up dying doing it. So if you're going to safety for these people, you need to accept that. And fire breathing is pretty serious, and I'm pretty friggin' into it. I have my buddy Quentin is pretty into it as well. Although I've never kept for him. Life gets in the way, you know? I need to get my hobbit feet muddy and smell the salt again, mocked. Great minds think alike, I tell you what. Guac, I spin the dragon staff, contact swords, whips, and what am I forgetting? Nunchucks and mini staves. Thanks, Robin. You're so sweet. When you're more secure about yourself, you'll see you deserve someone who is solely committed to only you. You deserve the best, Spanx. I agree. And, I'm not sitting over here waiting on, her to hit me up. I'm appreciating the relationship that we have, for what it is. I'm not getting hung up on the details, right? I'm not going to ride off into the sunset with this girl, but she makes me happy when we have the time to spend. So, yeah, I just want to be clear. I totally 100% agree with, especially the part where you say solely committed to only you. I really like that. There's something special and sacred about that. And I do deserve that. And that's what I will have. Right. But right now, I have, a lovely friend, and she's lovely, and she loves me. So that's cool. Right. That's okay. That's okay. I have done angle grinding. I definitely have. Have I showed you the nub? This wasn't done with an angle grinder, but a hydraulic press. Disney fire dancing crew. What is that? That sounds so exciting. I didn't know Disney had fire dancing. I knew that they had Disney on Ice. That makes me feel really nice, Miss Chicago. I appreciate that. Miss Chicago says, I really love being here. You're so easy to listen to. Pew. Chunking up the deuce. Guacaholic, we may have just become best friends. Reach out to me. Hit me in the emails or find me on Messenger. I don't know if you Facebook, but let's get in touch, man. I'd love to talk some more about fire. Izzy, I don't mean to put her on blast, but Izzy E is also a wonderful fire dancer and flow artist of many different fashions, and I'm a big fan. I guess I do kind of mean to put her on blast. I'm singing the praises over here. I hope that's all right, Izzy. Izzy E says, I need to start selling my neck of the woods to fire dancers. There is none, not a single fire dancer in my area. I'm telling you what, Izzy, I'm going to have to come visit. And my brain was like, oh, we're going to burn it down. But that's not what we're going to do. We're going to have fun. We'll get there. I just got a strange text from an email address. I wonder what that's about. It's almost time for me to get out of here. I am not going to do Tink Time today because my cramps have been vicious. My breakfast is probably going to be spicy pizza, so I'm going to not push it too much. Yeah, Goofy on the dragon. That would be pretty sweet. Goofy on some nunchucks or something. All right, y'all. Hit that like, subscribe, and the bell for notifications if you like what we do here. It certainly makes a difference. This felt really good today. I'm going to come back even hotter. I'm going to come back on fire. We're going to do this again, all right? Yeah, Riel, go check you out. I'd love to see what you got going on. Oh, wow, I love the statement. From Re's Connecting says, love being able to love deeply. There are no ordinary moments. I love that. And I have to say, they say it's the small things, right? The little things, the details, like the wind blowing and hitting the trees on a silent day, right? Or like the way that the sun hits the flowers, or blah, 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 right? It's the little things. And loving deeply and having serenity, accepting, right? Being able to be in my love and my joy enables me to enjoy the little things. Yeah. I'm going to be the 49th subscriber, 7th. I tell you what. Posted a drawing on the TLB Facebook page. I don't know what your Facebook name is, but if you see my post, send me your friend request. I will. It's going to come from someone named Dreamwalker. I thought it sounded like a good idea at the time to change my name to that. There's a Hawaii fire crew in, I forget what island they're on, but Pele's fire crew, those are my friends. And then my buddy Taj that I was talking about earlier that I was talking with last night, he's on Big Island. And they've got a little fire crew going as well. There's lots of fire these days. Pretty stoked about it. I'm going to get out of here as well, Dale Cox. Hope you have a great day, all right? 20 plus years psychotherapist. Heck yeah, Ree. I am not a doctor, and I definitely have no professional qualifications other than having lived a life, I guess. I'm Michael. Nice to meet you, Adam. All right, y'all. Dan, I would love to help you paint. That would be sweet, right? Yeah, have a great day, everyone. Yeah, love yourself a little bit today. Maybe check in with yourself. See what's going on with your soul, right? Your spirit, whatever's going on in there. Ask yourself, I don't know. Yeah, just love yourself a little.